Okay. We are live. Hey, Rod. Hey, Jerry. Michael Beckloff. I've been thinking a lot about you lately, Mike Beckloff. Um, I need to touch base with you about. You already know what I need to touch base with you about too, but I need to touch base with you very, very soon, sooner rather than later. It's one of those things where I think to myself, well, I should do that, and then I don't do it, and then I think, well, gosh, Matt, what's stopping you from doing that? And I think, oh, you are what is stopping you, man. So anyway, I need to get with Mike Beckloff soon. I miss that guy. I'm gonna see Rod on Monday, if not before. I think Rod gets in early this weekend. Jerry, I don't know. Jerry, have I ever met you? If I haven't, I need to meet you soon, my friend. Dastardly Dave, Dan, Lefty, Sean, Lefty. There's no gents. It's just me. Yeah. So, yeah. Chris and I had to clean the shop today, and I told you guys I was going to be doing a hi Gary, hi Butch. I told everybody that I was going to do a video today, and I wanted to, and so I'm talking with Chris. It's like time to go. You know what I mean? And I go, do you want to do this video with me? And he's like, what? Well, I don't know. Do you want me to? And I said, well, if you want to, then do. But if you don't want to, I don't think there's going to be anything that you can add to the discussion. In fact, Chris even said, I don't think there's anything I'm going to be able to know. I said, there isn't, because I haven't told you yet. So yeah. So Chris will not be joining us in this chair today. But he is, I'm sure, with us in spirit. So I want to talk a little bit about the Great American Guitar Build-Off today. And someone's got Clizit says, I was just checking USPS tracking on the Dylan pickups from HST should be arriving momentarily. Oh, it might be in the mailbox right now. I'll run out and have a peek. So thank you guys for joining me. I was talking with Joy today. Joy knows what the plan is. In fact, she is very much in cahoots with me on the plan. That right there should tell you a lot about the coolness of what we are planning, even though it doesn't tell you what we are planning. But a couple of things. Guys, if you have signed up for the 2026 Great American Guitar Build-Off, you should see your name on the website under participants. If you have offered to sponsor the event, you should see your name on the sponsor page, unless you are Brad Guitar Miller, because I just thought of that. Brad said he was going to help us out with a prize or two. So I need to get Pedal to the Metal Guitar Gear, their logo up on the website. So if you are kind of on the fence, get your name in there and get it up there. Guys, I cannot tell you what I'm planning yet, mostly because I want to get some stuff kind of cemented in. I want to get some signatures in ink before I tell you guys, before I go blabbing about it. And then, you know how it goes. Sometimes stuff happens or stuff goes differently than you think. So I can't just tell you all this stuff is going to happen in excruciating detail. And then, I have to change it. I really need to make sure that everything is we are in ink on a lot of this stuff, and the signature is dry on the page. But I can tell you, Joy asked me today, what are you going to do this video on? I'm like, I honestly don't know. But she said, just tell everybody that they are going to want to make plans to go. And just tell everybody that it's going to be bigger and better than it's ever been. And just tell everybody that if they don't come to the 2026 Great American Guitar Build-Off, they will face a bleak and unlivable future. Okay, that's not what Joy said, but in fact, she didn't even, it's not even a paraphrase. I kind of ad-libbed some of that last little bit. So, but anyway, guys, I wanted to make sure that you get. Dan has a good question that I can answer. He says, "How many days is it going to be?" Dan, it's going to be one day. The Great American Guitar Build-Off and anything else that I have will all be on the same day. Okay. So it's going to, the idea was like, well, maybe we could stretch it out into multiple days. And I thought, gosh, anytime I've done something where it's been multiple days, after the first day, like it gets harder to do. Or if the first day isn't very good and the second day is good, and the first day is kind of like, well, that wasn't very good. So I wanted to like cram this big party all into one day. So it's going to be one day. Great question, Dan. And I actually absolutely can answer that one. Dave says that I'm embellishing, and I am. Yeah. Yeah, Lefty, now the hangover for you guys, Lord only knows what that will be. But let's hope it's not 48 hours worth of hangover. Chris Hill at Odyssey Beer Works, the Great American Beer Works, has very generously offered to help with some refreshments. So you could tie one on if you wanted to. Mike Begloff says it could be a 3-day hangover. The older you get, as I will attest, the longer the hangover lasts, the less fun the hangover is. So anyway, gang, I've been getting a lot of emails from people. Like my friend Rick sent me an email last night that he said that the Great Guitar Build-Off, the Great American Guitar Build-Off, has kind of got him back into guitar stuff. And I saw Rick just the other day, a couple of months ago, he was here. So I think he's very excited about it. I talked to my friend Dan about it. I know he is wanting to do it. And, I think maybe he and Doc might be able to come down together, or maybe, I don't know how Canada's a big place. I'm not 100% sure what they figured out, but you get the idea. There's a lot of brotherhood, and there's a lot of people who are excited to meet other people and do other cool stuff. So, and there should be a lot of people excited to build Teles. For example, Rick said that his friend Gary Taft, who I guess is also my friend Gary Taft, wants to come out, and said some other folks are going to come out with him. So have you got your Teles further along? I actually worked on this one today. This is a white limba Tele with a maple quarter-sawn maple neck and black kingwood fretboard. And whoa, the neck needs a little Viagra. There we go. So it's not getting this pick guard, but it's going to get a pick guard. Let's see if we can. There we go. To look a little like that. So obviously there's no screws holding the neck on, and there's no get in there. There's no hardware on here. I am excited to try a new, to me, Goto bridge that is vintage and has titanium saddles. I just ordered one the other day. Oh, a lot of people ask me, some people less kindly than others, why I put this channel in here. And the people who are often kind of give me grief about it say things like, if you don't have that, then you don't have to put a pick guard on, and you're a big idiot, man. That's what they say. And I respectfully say to them, no, I'm not a big idiot, because I planned on using a pick guard. This slot right here is actually used to make drilling from this neck pickup to the control cavity easier. You put a drill bit in here, and let me show you. So you can put a drill bit in like that into the see there in the cavity there, and then down here into the no, we'll get two pencils going. So into that. So it just makes life easier. Now you can still not put a pick guard on this if you want. In fact, one of the most noteworthy guitar players of the 20th and 21st century, Billy Gibbons, has at least one guitar with just an Esquire pickup, but he's got all this other stuff, and he put he put a cigarette in here or something, and Billy Gibbons is cool, so you don't have to do stuff that you don't have to do stuff just because other people say. But here's why I do it, because if I didn't have this, I would have to have a hole going from here to here. Going from the pickup cavity to the control cavity is one thing. Snaking a bit up this way or this way would absolutely positively yield drilling through the back of the guitar. So generally what happens is people drill from the neck pocket all the way back to the bridge pickup. And that's fine. I don't like having a hole in my my neck pocket, this little chunk between my neck pocket and my neck pickup. Want to know why? There's no reason. I just think that it's I don't think it's cool, so I don't do it. Anyway. But okay, guys, the purpose of this video is to let me hear from you about what you're planning on making, or if you have any questions for me that I can answer. Is it a Tele? Is it not a Tele? Stuff like that. I would love to get get the ball rolling and let me know what you guys are up to, and what sorts of cool stuff you have planned. I'm going to start reading comments here. Klitz says, man, it would be so much fun to come, and I could even enter the semi-hollow Tele I'm finishing at the moment, but flying from Germany really isn't going to work, budget and time-wise. My friend, see if you can do it. Okay. I can't tell you why yet, but when I can, and I hope it's soon, you're going to go, dang, that does sound fun. I gotta get there. This is, hopefully it will not be a once in a lifetime thing, but maybe it will be a once in a lifetime thing. Okay. Dan's talking about driving through Canada. Electric Ballroom says, status of the HST. The HSTs, if you, they are, okay, if you did not tune in yesterday, all of the first 10 HSTs, and I don't know where yours is in the if it was the first 10 or the next 5. The first 10, I'm looking at them. They're all right there. They're all painted. They all have tuners. They all have electronics. They all have pickups. They are all waiting on bridges from Hipshot, which apparently are in the mail. The bridges that we're using are taller than the standard bridge, so they had to make a bunch of them. Now, I can't order them in, like 1,000 at a time. So I order what I can, and they make them for me and they get them to me. So I know that my credit card was charged on either Tuesday or Wednesday. They're probably going to be here, next week sometime. That's all those guys. Oh, and strings. They're waiting for strings too. Obviously, if there's no bridge, then there can be no strings. If you got in on the last or the second batch of 5, they are all glued up and ready for paint. But yeah, the very first 10 are waiting on bridges, and they will, as soon as the bridges get installed and the strings put on and the guitars get set up, like all the frets are done, the nuts are on there. Then they will, I will contact you about shipping in case, what you want to do about that, or if you want to come get it, and it'll be very, very soon. Butch, any ideas on the date yet? Okay, if you didn't watch yesterday, the date, there's no concrete date yet. Butch, didn't you ask this question yesterday? Mostly, Butch, because I have something big planned, And I can't, until I can tell you an absolute date, I'm not gonna. I can tell you it's gonna be before summer 2026. And it's probably going to be late May 2026. Probably. Okay. As soon as I know, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to let you guys know, and I'm going to tell you my big surprise that I'm doing. Okay. But like I was saying earlier in the video, I have to have a couple more things in concrete. I have to have a few more things written in ink pen before I'm going to, just start blabbing. Okay. Sean says, how much time do I have to enter? Can I get in March? Sean, yes, you can enter the day of, as far as I'm concerned. If you have a Tele and you have a $100 bill, or you have 5 20s, or you have 10 10s, or you have 100 singles, because I don't know why you would have that. But if you have $100 and you have a Telecaster style guitar that you want to enter, you can enter it that day. So you got time. But you don't have to sign up and pay me right away, Sean. So put your name in the thing, get your name. Let's get your name on the website. So far, there's like 22 or 23 people that have signed up, meaning that whoever wins is going to, if the contest was today, which it's not, but if it was today, somebody would walk away with $2,300. Okay. So, and I also have a bunch of people who have donated prizes and some other neat things like that too. So hopefully there will be lots and lots and lots of good stuff, including a fat stack of cash. Okay. The Electric Ballroom says he's number 2 or 3. All right. If you're number 2 or 3, your guitar is just waiting on bridges then. Jerry F says he's building a double cut redwood body with 2 P90s left-handed. That's a great one. I think a double cutaway Telecaster. This is one that I'm building for the workshop next week. This isn't a guitar that's going to be in the build off, although it could be. Why not? That one that's over there is also not going in the build up, but don't worry about that one. That's you don't need to worry about that guitar at all. Don't even think about it. Don't even look at it. You've seen enough of it already. So anyway, yeah, I think a double cutaway Tele would be a cool way to interpret the Tele idea. I'm excited to see that, and I like redwood. Though I don't like working with redwood, it gets in my airway. Butch says, how about an unofficial meetup the night before at Odyssey? Butch, that is a grand idea. I think that would be a delightful thing to have happen. And I will help you in any way that I can with that, my friend. Yeah, Dan says, Sean, show up on the day with your $100. Yeah, Sean, get your name in the thing. How about that? You know what I mean? Yeah, rolls of pennies. So, okay, here's the way that this is going to happen is when you show up for the build off, or if you send it in earlier, or however you want to do it, it's got to be cash. Okay. I'm not going to take any of the money from this, but I don't want to be charged for it either. Okay. So here's what I mean by that. Let's say, for the sake of conversation, I had a thing where it was like a PayPal deal on my website where pay your $100 here. Okay. Well, PayPal takes 3% of that. And then, so that would be, $97. So that would mean that there'd be this weird number. It wouldn't be $100. It'd be $97. Further into that end, I get taxed on all of that money. So however much I get taxed on that, I would go in the hole for, because I'm giving whoever wins the whole shooting match, I'm giving them a fat stack of cash. So you can't give someone a fat stack of PayPal. You can't give someone, I can't get one of those big checks. It'd be neat, but I can't do that. So ask Driddle what it's like to be handed a fat stack of 100s and 20s. And, you get to keep your own guitar too, by the way. When Chris and I competed in the original Great Guitar Build-Off, not the Great American Guitar Build-Off, we didn't get to keep the guitar. We had to sell the guitar. So we didn't get any of the money. which was fine. That was part of the deal. That all the money went to charity, and we helped out our friend Brian Nutter pay some medical bills with the money that we raised. But we didn't get to keep the guitar. Obviously, you can't keep the guitar and sell it too, right? But in the Great American Guitar Build-Off, you get a. Oh yeah, so we didn't win any money. I guess we won, prestige. That's what we got, and a lot of hate from people in England. Okay. What you get if you win the Great American Guitar Build-Off is you get a fat stack of cash. You get basically all the money from the entry fees. And you get to keep your guitar. You can sell your guitar if you want, and then you get to keep the money. You can keep the money, you can give it to charity. The money that you win, you can give to your friend who's having, medical issues. Whatever you want to do with it, you get to do. Okay. And if you don't win, there's going to be other prizes. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Rod says he's delivering his entry fee on Monday. Very cool, Rod. I think that Rod is going to build an exceptional Telecaster at Chris's Essential Fender Workshop starting Monday morning. And I am very excited. I'm building an exceptional Telecaster for my friend Gary Redburn in that workshop. I built this one. Honestly, I know why. Because I was making some Teles. I'm like, I'm going to make another one, and then we'll have a guitar we can sell. So that's always nice to have a guitar that we can sell after the class. And we're making one for Gary, and so we can't sell that one. Gary already bought it. So Gary's is looking cool too. The funny thing, I don't know if you guys if you've been here for a workshop, you know that we have workbenches. And because this is Chris's Essential Fender Workshop, not Matt's Essential Fender Workshop, I will be participating in the actual workshop as though I were a participant in the workshop. So that'll be fun. Like I'll be sitting at one of the benches, so I'll be able to get a point of view that I have not had yet. So really, it's just gonna be me and Rod telling fart jokes and making fun, cool guitars. And Chris will be like, he won't really, but yeah, it's gonna be fun though. Gary, I think you're gonna really, really like this guitar. It turned out good. So anyway, gang, what do you got planned for the Great American Guitar Build-Off? Anything you guys want to spill the beans on? Anything? Don't tell me you're making a Tele. I already know that. Are you going to break any new ground? You can be vague too. You know what I mean? Butch wants to know, will the guitars hang on the wall at Flipside, or do we need a stand? There will be stands provided. Butch, when you come out, if you throw a stand in your luggage, that would not be the worst thing. Okay. Look at that. Dan just submitted a thing, and some other people probably did too. Let's see. Dan Andreas just submitted. Yeah. So, cool. This is going to be good. Bring a stand. There will be stands. Like I'm looking right over there. There's like a dozen stands, and there's one over here, and there's two back here, and there's some in the other room. I'll have some. Ike will have some. But if you want to have your guitar on your own stand, or if you just want to, hedge your bets that you'll have a stand, bring your own stand. Okay. Dastardly Dave says that he usually flies with extra stands. So it's a good idea to put your name on it. That's a great point, Dave. So at these things, stands kind of have a way of disappearing. My friend Brett Hagen has this thing that he does every time he buys a new stand, which is like every time we play a gig or he plays with his other band, he buys a new stand and then he promptly leaves it at the venue. And then sometimes he gets it back and most times he doesn't. So, or sometimes he gets a stand back. It wasn't the one that he showed up with. So if you get a stand, yeah, absolutely put your name on it, or put your serial number on it. Put something on there that makes everyone know it's yours. Rod says everyone needs to sign up. I need a fat stack of cash. Rod, it must be making something really, really cool, gang. Dan's already smack talking. He says, "Dream on, Rod." Driddle, hey Driddle, how are you doing? I hope that Driddle decides to build a guitar this year. I like to see when that guy comes down, and it's always fun to hang out with him. And yeah, so that but guys, if you don't know what you're planning on building for the Great American Guitar Build Off, that's cool. But you know what here's what I think you could do to win. Fancy wood or something really, really off the wall. So imagine, here's just for the sake of conversation. Let's say you had a Tele body and you covered it with cowhide, and then you had like a horn down here, like an actual cow horn, something like that. Okay. Don't do that, but we've all seen that guitar anyway, right? Or you know, something over the top, right? So over the top wood, like really swanky, like redwood, flame koa, flame maple, something like that. You know, or like or crazy paint, like metal flake. Flake is the new flame. Metal flake or like lowrider kind of line work. Oh God, that'd be so cool, you guys. I've always thought that, remember the Paul Reed Smith metal series? They had like these lines that would emanate from the bridge and go to the cutaways. And I always thought that was like really cool, like almost like that kind of real Vato lowrider line work, which I love. But it didn't take it far enough. So I always thought like cool paint like that, like lowrider line paint scheme would be really, really excellent. Or over the top, like so let's say you made you know, it was a fishbowl guitar, fishbowl shaped Telecaster with a neck, and there was goldfish swimming around it, or like one of those things you push the button and it shoots up water and the little rings go up and you can win a taco, something like that. Or, you know, you make something that doesn't exist. A double cutaway Telecaster is a great idea. What about like a 7-string Telecaster? What about an 8-string Telecaster? What about a 6-string Telecaster bass? What about a like a the Floyd Rose Super Tele? Oh, that'd be cool. What do you guys think? Like, do you think that like just a basic, really well done Tele can win this thing? Maybe it would have to be something really special, though. Somebody was saying, well, you could just bring your original 52 Telecaster, broadcaster, whatever, and that would automatically win. I don't think it would. I think that original vintage Teles are neat, but I don't think there's anything particularly earth-shattering about them. I think that the notion of building your own guitar comes in many subtle levels. And what I was trying to do when I said, you know, you could just go to Guitar Center and buy a guitar, it's not going to win. And I told Chris, don't say it's not going to win. But you could go to Guitar Center, you could buy a Fender Tele, and you could enter it in the contest, and you'd be participating in the event. But you need to know that would be sort of like donating $100. And if you did that because you're a cool guy, cool. If you started like, okay, so this guitar that I'm working on here, don't worry about that one. This all started out as chunks of wood. Okay. Well, I have a shop full of guitar building equipment, and I've built a number of guitars before. So building a Telecaster, the woodwork portion for me isn't particularly daunting. But I also don't want to be a gatekeeper and say, you can't buy parts and put them together and enter it in the contest. I mean, like if you don't have any tools Well, let's say you don't have, I don't know, you don't have a router, you don't have a bandsaw, you don't have a bunch of woodworking stuff, but you do love putting guitars together and you love tinkering with guitars and you love that stuff. Man, I want to encourage everybody to have fun doing guitar stuff. So if you buy a neck from Warmoth or a body from somebody and you like, I'm not going to make the bridge for this. I'm not going to make the tuners I don't have a screw machine to make the tuners, but I think that you could say, I assembled this, I put it together, or I painted it, or I, put cool stickers all over, or whatever you're into, or I covered it with fur and then made a horn come out of it. Why not? Why not have fun with that? And I'm not saying you're going to win or you're going to lose, but I also don't want to be a gatekeeper of what is and what isn't, true guitar building. Okay. The older I get, and the more I do this, the less I want to do stuff like that. Okay. All right, gang. Butch says he's hoping for a top 30 finish. Butch, I think you're going to do great, my friend. Driddle says, I'm going to buy a Sunday driver and enter surefire winner. Driddle, you should just buy this one. I'll sell it to you. Lefty has a great idea. Set neck, 7-string baritone troublemaker. I think it's a great idea. Devin says, so Teles shaped, not necessarily traditionally Tele appointment. Here's my position on what does and doesn't constitute a Telecaster. Obviously, if the body looks like this, you're not going to have to convince anybody. Okay. If the body is like this, but has a cutaway right here, you're probably not going to have to convince anybody that it's a Tele. If the headstock looks like this, or looks like an actual fender, or looks like a hockey stick, nobody's going to care. I submit to you that if you we've all seen it, that it's this front half of a Telecaster and then at the back, and it's got a bunch of Tele appointments. Yeah, okay. I don't think it's cool, but you know what I think? Doesn't matter what I think. So if you want to make a mashup thing like that, I say go for it. If you want to build an Ash Explorer with Tele paint and Tele hardware, Driddle's guitar that he entered a couple of years ago was like an ML shape, and it had a bunch of Tele stuff on it. I don't think you'd get away with that because it looks more like an ML than it does a Tele. But gosh, I think that if you can make the case that it looks like a Telecaster or doesn't look like a Telecaster, but for some reason or other it screams Telecaster, I think it's good to go. Okay. Mike Beckloff says Chicago Music Exchange has a nice 52 Tele for $6,500 or $65,000 or so. Yeah, so that's a great deal. I mean, you know what? So that means that for $65,100, you could enter the contest with that guitar. No one's going to do that, though. No one's going to bring a vintage Telecaster. And if they do, the spirit of they would be in keeping with the spirit of the rules of the Great American Guitar Build-Off. But I can tell you that they would not do well in the judging parameters that I have made. Okay. So you need to realize this, that the judges all are judging off of parameters that I have created. Even if I'm not judging, I still came up with the rules. Okay. So anyway, a Supreme Court rules. I know it when I see it. Yeah. You know what? Great. That's a great one there. There are, obviously there are some Teles that are more Tele than others, and some that kind of push the boundaries of the Telecaster. Gosh, that guitar's been around for over 7 decades. I mean, how much custom stuff has been done to a Tele? All of it. So yeah, you'll know it when you see it. Big Mike says, my personal circumstances may not allow me to enter, but I will attempt to make a guitar. Planning on a pine body, mahogany neck, some relic parts, and a twist that I don't wish to disclose. I like your style, Mike. So pine body is super cool. Mahogany neck, very, very cool. I got to tell you, I know I've said it in the past. Oh, maple, why can't you be more like mahogany? I love maple necks, but I don't love machining maple. If I made my necks on a CNC machine, I would probably feel differently. But I don't. I make my necks one at a time by hand. And I like that. It's not the most efficient way to build instruments, but it's my favorite way to do it. So this neck here is a fantastic neck. I love this neck. When Driddle buys this, he's going to really like it. But I love mahogany for necks, and it's going to be good. Look at that. Gary Redburn, who is one of my heroes. Did you know that, Gary? Says, Big Mike, you make that guitar and I'll take care of your entry fee. Gary, God bless you, my friend. That is such a wonderful thing to say and do. Okay. So, and I also love the idea of, Mike, I love the idea of you telling us a little bit about what you're going to do and then holding some cards back and keeping them close to your vest. And that's a cool thing. Keeping some stuff under your hat is a neat thing. And I encourage you guys to do that because, man, when you guys see I don't even know what people are making, but I have been here to a couple of these contests, the Great American Guitar Build-Offs. I've done the Great Guitar Build-Off. The stuff that people come up with is really next level. And when you see it, the bummer part is I don't know how many of these I can do. This might be the last one. I hope not, but you never know, right? You don't know. The problem is that you get a bunch of people making something cool and you're like, oh, now I got a really cool idea for next time. But you know me, I change the rules every time. So yeah. So whether we have one and it's done or whether we have, 100 more, you are going to want to make plans to come to this one. Here's what I want you guys to not hear. Do not hear, I'm only planning on doing this. This is the last one. And yeah, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. What I'm saying is life is short and you don't know how many more great American guitar build-offs there's going to be. And so I don't know how to say it any other way without giving you more information than I can. Make plans to be here. As soon as I know when it is, I'll tell you. I know that what you think. I can hear it through the camera right now. Well, how can I make plans to be there? I don't know when it is. Make plans to be here right before summer. As soon as I have a date, as soon as I can tell you other things, I will tell you. I'm hoping that's going to be sooner rather than later. It's going to be big. Let's just say I've got I can't say anymore. If you don't come, you're going to be bummed out. Okay. All right. Okie doke. All right. Well, guys, it is 4:08. I think that we should wrap this one up. There will be a video on Sunday. Okay. I've got a new thing that I'm going to be working on, and I think that you guys are going to like it. There will be a video on Sunday. I'm sorry about last Sunday. It's just kind of, time keeps on slipping into the future, as they say. Okay. Thank you, Dave. If Brian Duncan is here, which I don't think he is, but Brian, if you're here, how come you are not coming to the shop and saying hi to me? Brad Guitar Miller, Brad, life is short. You should build the cool guitar. Brad, I need to get your logo up on the website. Would you mind sending me a PDF of your logo, Brad? Thank you, Gary. Thanks, Mike Beckloff. We will talk to you guys soon. I'm looking forward to, Mike's coming out. I don't know why. Yeah, Mike's coming out. Gary's coming out. Jay's coming out. Everyone's coming out. I don't know why you guys, sign up. Get in on the action. All right, guys, we'll see you Sunday. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you then.